is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Council. As you know, we did call the council meeting to order at 12 noon, just prior to moving into the in-camera session, which was completed. But for the purposes of those watching on television and those here in the chamber, there was a recommendation for an approval of the agenda with two added items. They are both announcements, E6 and E7, and we'll get to them shortly. And there was the declaration of conflicts of interest. No declarations were declared, so we're now at the portion of this meeting where we're approving the minutes of the previous council. Councillor Sanderson?
Mayor, at the conflict of interest, I do have one, G5 and K1.
Oh, okay, so you didn't state that in the
No, I
in-camera,
didn't.
so
I was
you
in
missed.
conversation.
Okay, so for the clerk, there's Councillor Sanderson declaring a conflict of interest on the two what items in here?
G5 and K1, as my family has property in the area.
Okay. Then we now move to this one we have, to the minutes of the regular council meeting held on May 7th. It's moved by Councillor Dillon and Councillor Callahan. It's as printed and circulated. All those in favor? Thank you. That is carried. Council, we now have the consent motion. Are there any items to be added to or subtracted from the consent motion? I will begin by asking item I-1-5, which is the new Build Canada plan, to not be approved in consent. I'd like to discuss that at the time. Any other items? Councillor Miles?
Madam Mayor, I'm wondering if we could bring forward item J1, which is from our Committee of Council minutes, and it's in regards to a special council meeting as a result of the province's lack of funding for the ice storm. We have a full audience, and this is an item that we want the public to be very aware of. So I would ask that we pull this item and bring it forward to be dealt with at the...
Could we bring it before all of the reports of the officials?
Sure.
That's after proclamations?
Yeah.
Okay, we can deal with that. Just
Thank
that
you.
item out of minutes, thank you. I also wonder, Council, in the, under the delegations, I should have asked, we do have the 4 staff presentations on the activities at the city, and the final delegation is Mr. Davis, and as a courtesy, perhaps we could move Mr. Davis to be the first delegation, because I imagine the staff reports could be lengthy, but I'm not sure if he's here, so it might not be helpful.
I'm representing Mr. Davis right now. I can call him and tell him to come right.
We would probably be at that in about 10 minutes, just as opposed to it being a lot later. Okay, if he's here, then we'll do that. Thank you for that. Please let him know how the mayor wanted to make sure I was respectful of his time. Thank you. Okay, Council, the consent motion as read. All those in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Okay, Council, we now go to a great part of the council meeting, which is how we commence most council meetings, with announcements, and they're usually always very positive. And we're about to kick off the summer. Sun is expected, and I'd like to ask Carol Berry, President of the Rotary Club of Brampton, to please come and tell us about the Brampton Rotary Rib and Roll event. It's an authorized event for the city of Brampton that we support, and we're proud to do that. I think that was at the last council meeting. So welcome, Carol.
Council and members of the council chambers, everyone here today. Thank you for this opportunity to tell you about Brampton's first major summer event and one of the city's biggest, the 10th annual Rib and Roll. Last year we raised more than $50,000 despite some inclement weather from this 3-day event, and proceeds were distributed to Rotary Charities and Tour for Kids, an organization that supports children with cancer. More than 20,000 people came last year to Gage Park. Rib and Roll is the first major event of the summer and we are proud to say the crowds are beginning to grow. It begins Friday, this Friday, May 23rd, and from 5 to 11 p.m., runs Saturday from noon till 11, and Sunday from noon till 7 p.m. Gage Park will be alive with the sights and sounds and smells of Rotary's Ribbon Roll. In 2014, the major change is the addition of a major sponsor, Ward Funeral Homes, and Cam Ward is here with me and will present in a moment. Ward is celebrating 100 years in 2014, and the retooling of our activities on Sunday with significant enhancement aimed at making the whole day a family interactive event. The Ward Family Day on Sunday includes entertainment for families with kids on 3 separate stages with buskers, bouncy castles, face painters, balloon tykes, clowns, an animal and reptile show, and even Zumba. I invite the seniors to join us for that. The music is non-stop Friday through Saturday. The Carpet Frogs are back Saturday night as the headliner, and there's a lot of announcements at our website, www.ribbonroll.com. Our ribber lineup this year includes Jake's Boathouse, Louisiana Seafood Oyster Bar and Grill, P&P Catering, RD Southern Barbecue, and Turtle Jack's Muskoka Grill, all local businesses. We believe in supporting these local businesses, and we get terrific support from local business as well. Key sponsors include City of Brampton, RBC Royal Bank, RBC Dominion Securities, Ward Funeral Home, Investors Group, Amber Brewery, The Marketing Pad, Brampton Guardian, Rogers TV, The Lawrences, Rose Theatre, Mary Mac, and Carl's Catering. A good lineup of sponsors. We'd like to invite you all to come, May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your grandchildren for Sunday. There'll be great rock and roll music, juicy ribs, and lots for families to do. The Rotary Club of Brampton has a long tradition of developing events to raise money for the community. We believe in working together to make our community a better place. So please join us at Gage Park. I'd like to ask Cam Ward to come and present a little bit about Ward for their anniversary.
Madam Mayor and members of council, and to all of you here today, we are just so pleased to be part of this very special day. Having witnessed the many successful years that the Ribbon Roll has taken on, and the tremendous support that the Brampton Rotary has shown all of us in the city of Brampton, it just simply was a perfect fit for us. Speaking to Chris Rumsey, my manager for many years and friend, and my cousin John and I simply thought this was just simply a good fit for us at the funeral home. From my great-grandfather to now, community support's always been very forefront in our operations. Being only family-owned funeral home in town, we take tremendous pride in that, but we also take tremendous pride in the amount of support that we show the many associations and charitable organizations that we deal with. As a firm, we truly believe that memories are what matters, and we truly see that the creation of the Ward Family Day will allow these families to get together, come together, enjoy some great food, some great activities, and just the most important thing is to be amongst family and to share this special day with them. I sure hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Councillor Sanderson?
Thank you, Carol and Cam, for coming out today. As a longtime member of the Rotary Club myself, and it was great, Cam, when you were involved there at the Rotary. I know you still behind the scenes do a lot for the Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club certainly does do a lot for the city of Brampton, long-established service club. And it's always great this particular weekend to get out and get out and support the Rotary Club. I know Chris here is in the crowd, and he does a lot of back-breaking work there as well.
Rib breaking.
Rib breaking. But it is great to get out there. That's where the Brampton people all come together. So once again, thank you and congratulations, Cam, on your family's history. That's great, and you certainly are a community supporter. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much as well. Your support of this coming weekend for Ribbon Roll, your ongoing support for Carabram. It's noticed the provision of cars and taking the judges around. We're very proud of the interaction with Ward Funeral Home. I'd want to remind the organizers of the Rotary Ribbon Roll, if you haven't already, please make sure your event is posted on the Catch the Spirit website As you know, that's was a mayor's initiative many years ago, completely run by volunteers, providing completely free direct advertising. And as you know, it has almost doubled and tripled your numbers just by having that email go to 35,000 homes, reminding them. And what's important is you put the lineup of, so people see a popular band, they say, I'm going to go at that time. So it's good, reliable information into so many thousand homes. I'm sure if it's submitted, there'd be an email blast go out. Today's Wednesday, should have been a couple of days. Maybe it's already gone. I don't know. I don't have anything to do with it other than to encourage people to use the free service. Communication is tough in Brampton, but it's there for all community groups to amplify and tell the story about a great thing going on. And we have heard every year in the park, people come and say, thank you for that email. I had no idea this event was going on. These ribs are delicious. So you see, it works. It helps bring and populate. Not everything is about raising money. Sometimes it's important to people raise. An event is successful if there's a lot of people there, and that's what the Catch the Spirit effort does. It brings you extra people. And Steve, I know you've had it in the system and promoted it, and I know even with the Christmas tree lighting, we went from 500 people to 6,000 in 1 year when we said this is a great idea. So please make sure it's on the Catch the Spirit website so all of the subscribers will know the event is on, and people subscribe from well outside of Brampton as well. So it's a great free promotion. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. I see the Carpet Frogs are on for Saturday night at 9 o'clock. I always like to join the Frogs. They are so kind to allow me to play the drums with them, and we like to play Proud Mary. Funny. Anyway, it's kind of a fun way to say it, Proud Mary, but thank goodness they know how to play really well, and I don't really have to really want to keep up. But the ribs are fantastic, and for people coming down, I want you to know this is a volunteer. The Rotary Club is there with countless volunteers, and it's just a fun weekend. The weather is supposed to be warm. The sun is supposed to be out by Sunday. We will collectively pray it comes by Thursday or Friday for setup, and it's a great weekend. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you there.
Council, the next announcement, I would like to invite Wendy Goss, who's our accessibility coordinator for corporate services, to tell us about Access Awareness Week, June 2 through 6. Welcome.
Thank you. Mayor Fennell, members of Council, Executive Leadership Team, and Senior Management Team, thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. Access Awareness Week is from June 2nd to 6th, and it's an opportunity to highlight accessibility awareness, to educate our staff, and to promote the city's commitment to independence, inclusion, and dignity for people of all ages and abilities. Access Awareness Week activities have been planned this year on Wednesday, June the 4th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at City Hall in the atrium. We are going to be having ongoing interactive awareness sessions during that time, and we do encourage staff and public to join us that day. We are also using Access Awareness Week events to promote our new Accessibility for Life logo. The existing logo was implemented in 2003, and it has certainly served our program very well. We got together with the graphic design team here at the city to look at creating a new logo, and we think we came up with a bright, colorful, and certainly a more streamlined logo to some degree that we think fits our program's nature of inclusion quite well. Leading up to Access Awareness Week events, that first week of June, we have a lunch and learn session planned for members of Committee of Council on Wednesday, May the 28th.
Thank you very much, Councillor Haynes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for bringing this to council. I know you play a big part in the Accessibility Advisory Committee, and I think we've done a great job with that group. All of the group actually were groups that come out to be part of that that committee. So thank you to them, and when you see them at the next meeting, you can congratulate them too for me, because I'll be away.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Council, the next announcement, pretty exciting, May 26th, Bike to Work Day. I think that means bike, not motorbike, Councillor Plushy. Okay. Adam Arnold is here. He's our program manager for Smart Commute Brampton Caledon. Please tell us about Brampton Bike to Work Day.
Certainly will.
Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, members of council. It's a great pleasure to be here today and let you know about our Bike to Work Day event that's happening on Monday, May 26th. So if you eat too many ribs during Ribfest, Monday, May 26th, come on down. You can work off some of those ribs that you built up. So I represent Smart Commute Brampton Caledon. We're a non-profit organisation. We work within Brampton with employers to promote green transportation, getting employees on their bikes, carpooling, transit, that kind of thing. So we are having our second annual Bike to Work Day breakfast right here downtown Brampton, Garden Square, right outside Rose Theatre, Monday, May 26th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can come on down, grab some breakfast, get your bike tuned up. We're going to have music. We're going to have vendors from downtown celebrating all the good stuff that's going on downtown Brampton, celebrating cycling, letting people know that Brampton is a place where you can cycle to work, you can cycle recreationally. Even if you can't bike on Bike to Work today, but you're interested in learning more, we'd love people to come out and learn a little bit more about cycling within the city. We have a website, www.biketoworkday.ca. If you're interested in joining us, log on to that site, register for the event. Everyone who registers is going to be entered into a prize draw to win a new bike, which is another great incentive. I know we had some councillors last year join us, which was fantastic, and we'd love to see you all there and taking part.
Thank you very much, Councillor Palashi.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. You have an Australian accent?
It's an English accent.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Just come back.
I was going to tell you, I was reading, I should ask Sandra, she would have told me. Because I was just in Australia on a family wedding, and the amount of bicycles there are incredible, absolutely incredible. And where we were is very mountainous, up in the tropic area, the north type of thing, and they're up and down those hills like anything. And a lot of people go to work on bicycles there, so I really hope. And going downtown Toronto, I've never seen so many bikes now that are there, so hopefully it helps to catch on. I just wanted to add, it's great that you're doing that during the day, because in the evening, Monday the 26th, is bike night in Brampton at the Rose Theatre. It's the different kind of bikes, though. It's the ones with the motors on them, to promote the downtown area in Brampton also, and that starts, I believe, at 6 o'clock, isn't it, John? And yeah, so it's a great day for that. You can bicycle in the daytime and ride your bike the motorized bike at night, because you'll be tired from riding the other one. So, thanks.
Do we need to call 911? Is that a medical emergency?
Yeah. I was just thinking about riding a bicycle. Yeah, that's.
Adam, thank you very much, and I'm just asking our deputy clerk to give you a website. That's the website. It's called www.catchthespiritbrampton.com. If you write in your own words your enthusiastic commercial about this day, an email blast will go out to those tens of thousands of people telling them about it. It promotes free family entertainment in Brampton, and that's how people know what's going on. It's a great volunteer initiative, so that's the website. Please just enter your event, and hopefully it gets blasted out to all of the subscribers.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, and remind people to come on their bike.
Absolutely.
All right, that's the idea. Very good. Good. Thank you very much. Item E4, the Indian Ball Hockey Federation, IBHF, is about to host their 5th annual Indo-Ontario Cup tournament, May 29 through June 1, and Sanjeev is here to tell us all about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and fellow council members and committee members. We just want to announce our 5th annual Indo-Ontario Ball Hockey Championship that will be taking place. It is now the largest South Asian ball hockey tournament that is hosted here in Brampton in North America, and we're touting it's going to be the largest one in the world. This year we have over 30 teams participating. We also have an out-of-team province coming in from Montreal for the first time to participate in the event. And in addition to that, we have roughly about 700 to 750 participants taking place in this event. This year, the event will be brought back to our home arenas that we started off with, which is at South Fletcher's Arenas, rink 1 and 2. As Madam Mayor indicated, it's on May 29th to June 1st. Starting next Thursday, we're having our official opening ceremonies to kick off the tournament on Friday, May the 30th at 8 p.m. in South Fletcher's Arena 1. We cordially invite you and the fellow council members and committee members and anyone in attendance to join us for the opening ceremonies. We're looking forward to a great year of competition. This year is actually a year where a lot of the teams that are going to be participating will have the opportunity to participate in a variety of world tournaments that are taking place where these individuals have a chance to be selected and drafted to these select teams. We have a junior Team India team going to the Worlds in Bulgaria. We have a Masters team heading down to Tampa Bay, Port Richey later on this September. And there's also another junior 18 team going to Belarus as well. So it's going to be a great opportunity for the kids that are involved with the program and the adults to be able to move forward with their ball hockey careers and to represent the city of Brampton as well as Ontario and Canada at these respective events. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people from the city of Brampton that have been very contingent in terms of developing our program. Donalyn Rosa, Crystal Ransom, Jan Diplock, Rob Taroni, and Dennis Kudajar for all of their support with a lot of the behind-the-scenes setup. And we'd like to especially thank Councillor John Sanderson, Councillor Vicky Dillon, and Honourable Mayor Susan Fennell for their continued support, both at our events for our opening ceremonies and behind the scenes in advertising and promoting our event within the city. We really appreciate everything you've done for us because you guys have been behind us since we initially started to grow this event. With that being said, I look forward to seeing you all at the event, and we're looking for a successful year-end tournament again.
Thank you. Quick question. Have you been in contact with the Brampton Beast?
Yes, we have.
Good. I hope Boomer's there and they're supporting your event because I know the owner of the team is very committed to ball hockey, field hockey, any form of hockey because the game of hockey encompasses all. And he was just speaking at the mayor's business breakfast that I did not know if you had reached out. So please, if you haven't connected those dots, but you sound like you have. So
yeah, we have. They've actually committed to setting up an inflatable booth since our junior tournament will actually be in connection with our men's tournament. And they're going to have either some players and some of their coaching staff out and available to meet and greet with the players in the community.
And have you talked with Brampton Youth Hockey Association to see if they would have some activity there?
Yes, we have. We've working with the Brampton Minor Hockey Association to develop and bring out more kids to the program. And this year we're going to try to introduce some interactive events to just introduce the game of hockey to any of the community members.
Thank you, because just to share with council in attending the BYHA or whatever their acronym is now, AGM, they've recently received a sponsorship from Bauer, which will I think you know, completely outfit 50 young children to learn how to play hockey. The equipment is provided to them. So you come to the hockey camp, it's completely free. You're outfitted from head to toe, completely free. If you register then to play at House League hockey, you keep the equipment. First in Canada, Brampton Hockey is trying to rebuild the activity. Many people didn't have hockey in their upbringing. I know my kids didn't, so, it was new for me. So, imagine providing complimentary hockey equipment from helmet to skates and everything in between, complete with instruction how to play, how to skate. And I bet there's a lot of children that will be at your event, and they would want to be there. They have a pamphlet out for it now. It's being translated into different languages. What an opportunity, and thank you to Bauer Canada and Brampton Hockey for putting that program together. So if you could help, that would be great.
Oh, that'd be great. I'll definitely talk to the Brampton Association about that.
Thank you. Councillor Miles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Sanjeev, I missed the location of where the event was on the 30th.
It's South Fletcher's Arena,
South
Arena
Fletcher's.
number 1 and 2.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Callahan.
Just something I learned the other day from a youngster, that there are more scholarships being handed out in the U.S. schools to kids playing ball hockey or lacrosse. You'd think it would be hockey, eh? But that's the place to go. Apparently they don't know how to play lacrosse down there, and they don't know how to play ball hockey. They do.
Bob, they have a pro league down
They
there.
do know how to play. They do know how to play hockey, though, as we all witnessed just recently.
Pro lacrosse. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Lacrosse is pro in the States, and one of our firefighters is a pro player, and they fly him back and forth just to play. That's how big it is. Yes, sir. Holy smokes, he's quite our pride and joy. That'd be Dan Dawson. Item E5, an announcement, Council, just to inform you that the next meeting of the large urban mayors is going to be hosted by the City of Brampton. It is this Friday. As you know, we meet as the large urban Mayors Caucus of Ontario, therefore LUMCO, and the mayors participate in a number of issues that affect larger municipalities, growth municipalities, as an advocacy arm of the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and we meet in various locations. It is Brampton's opportunity. They are here on Friday, and I'm just making you aware of that. The group has already focused on 3 issues for this particular advocacy. Quite fortuitous, it is during the provincial election. All provincial leaders have been invited to address the large urban mayors caucus this Friday in Brampton. The 3 issues that will be focused on, which are common to all municipalities: gridlock, transit and transportation. Second, the rising cost of emergency services. As you know, the province downloaded paramedics and emergency services are all provided now in the municipal property tax bill. And thirdly, the subject of jobs in Ontario. Those will be the 3 dominant discussions for this particular agenda. The new chair of LUMPCO is Mayor Jeff Lehman of Barrie, and he will be co-chairing with your mayor as co-host of the meeting. Are there any questions or comments? Councillor Callahan.
Can you tell us the time and the location?
It's a closed meeting, Bob, for mayors only. The
Oh.
time, I think, is 10 o'clock it starts.
At night or in the morning?
Well, I could do it at night, but most people prefer these things in the daytime.
Oh, I can see why they don't want us there, but I just thought I'd inquire.
No, it's 10 till 2 or 3, and it's not a media event, it's a working event, and we attend these 3 or 4 or 5 times a year, depending on the call of the chair. Okay? The next question is, the next announcement is E6. Council, I'd like to ask Susan Gao to please come forward. Susan is a longtime resident of the city of Brampton, and most people, as soon as you see Susan, go, oh yes, I know her. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere. She does so much in Brampton. Susan has been a volunteer with Famous People Players since 1997. Susan recruits volunteers. She helps set stages while on tour, cares for the company members, and mans the concession stand. From running to the hardware store for supplies, to fix a broken prop, to looking after a performer who has fallen ill, she is there. In this community of Brampton, she volunteers at the Flower City Seniors Recreation Centre, Our Rose Theatre, and the Brampton Arts Council. The reason we're talking about Susan today is I'd like to present her a certificate on all of your behalf, because Susan has been awarded the Governor General's Caring Canadian Award. Well, hold on, Bob. Not yet. Let me finish reading what it's for. And then I think it's a good idea. This was created in 1995. The Governor General's Caring Canadian Award recognizes living Canadians and permanent residents who have made a significant, sustained, unpaid contribution to their community in Canada or abroad. Often working behind the scenes, these individuals volunteer their time and efforts to help their fellow citizens. The award also brings to light the example set by volunteers whose compassion and engagement are a part of our Canadian character. And I understand there's very few of these awards given nationally. So this certificate says to Susan Gao, on behalf of the members of Council of the Corporation of the City of Brampton, may I extend to you our sincere congratulations on being awarded the Governor General's Caring Canadian Award. As you celebrate this important honor, I offer my sincere gratitude for your lifelong contributions and dedicated service to the many organizations, associations, and boards you have been a part of. Thank you for your outstanding service and commitment to our community. And it's dated the day of the award, which is February 12, 2014, and I'd like to bring that to you. Now you can stand. Good job. say a few words, or
I just would like to say.
go this
Okay.
way so that it goes on the camera?
Okay. I'd just like to say thank you very much to all my fellow Brampton volunteers. Together, this is what makes the city of Brampton excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'd just
Susan,
like to...
just hold on, come back. Susan, just come back for a sec. There's a couple of councillors want to say
Thank
a
you,
few
Madam
words.
Mayor, and I'd just like to congratulate Susan. I've known Susan for a number of years, when she was at the school, actually, the Parkholme School there. And I knew her from back in my Board of Trade days and all the volunteering that you did. So very, very well deserved. You and your husband John there are always up to something, doing something for the community. So well deserved, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. And yes, and Councillor Sanderson's mentioned Parkholme. That wasn't mentioned in the accolades, but it was 35 years or so ago that we met through Parkholme School. You were a volunteer there. I'm not sure how many years, but I hired some of the students to work in my nursery, and you were the expediter. Every time we went, you picked the students out and made sure that they that they were returned, counted them as they went out, and counted them as they came back. And I'm not sure how many years you were there, but certainly every student that that you sent was a very good worker, and helped very much, and we were certainly helped. I know you did a great job there, putting those people out into the community to learn some useful trades and that type of thing. So, how many years were you at Parkholme?
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That in itself is worthy of medals. So. Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks you, and congratulations again. Thank you. Council, the final announcement is about the flooding, the horrific flooding that is occurring in Serbia and Bosnia. A resident of our city contacted me over the weekend and was concerned there didn't seem to be a mechanism in Canada or her city, our city, Brampton, to participate in any kind of relief effort. This is considered the worst flood in over 120 years. The water continues to rise and now threatens the very main power plant. There have been close to 40 fatalities. The pictures in the news and others are tremendous. In fact, Brampton being so diverse, if there's an incident anywhere in the world, there's probably a family or more than one family in Brampton who are affected by it. So I can tell you as mayor the number of families that contact me about these and others. So Brampton has a record of helping and supporting other communities in need. But I want to say our thoughts and prayers are with the families and victims of Serbia, Bosnia, and the Balkan region has suffered unprecedented rainfall in recent weeks. Floods are triggering landslides, covering roads, homes, and entire villages. The city has launched a month-long campaign to collect, our city, Brampton, is launching a month-long campaign to collect donations for the Red Cross in support of relief efforts. Donations can be made online through the City of Brampton website, brampton.ca, or here at City Hall. Red Cross teams are working in close cooperation with emergency management sectors, and local emergency headquarters have been helping to evacuate the population. To date, more than 4,000 people have been evacuated. More flooding is continuing to threaten other parts of the region, and road access has been blocked to many areas of the main cities. So for anyone who wants to participate or help, Red Cross is the lead agency. I want to thank Dennis Cuttajar. He and his team work very quickly to identify the lead agencies in particular disasters, and then we work with them on having this mechanism to donate. So if people are interested to do that, this will be posted, right now it has been posted on the city website. If you're on social media, please tweet the information, Facebook, but help people know that you can support Red Cross in this major flood disaster in Serbia and Bosnia. Thank you. Council, we now go to delegations. I did see Mr. Davis come in. Oh, pardon me, we have proclamations first. So, okay, so council, we have to go to proclamations first. The first proclamation, there are three. The first one is for Peace Tree Day, and we do have students here from B.D. Fleming Public School, and if you want to come down, we have two students, Lauren and Rayansh. Is that how you say your name? Yes. Rayansh. My God, we did it right. Good job. Here we go. Whereas Peace Tree Day is a day of celebration for schools, communities, children, and families of all cultures and faiths, and a time to unite and celebrate every tradition and culture together. And whereas the Peace Tree International Initiatives is a not-for-profit organization that works toward creating peaceful, inclusive, and compassionate communities through the spirit of children and youth by celebrating diversity and inclusion. And whereas Peace Tree Day empowers children and youth to become social justice leaders of peace and inspires them to find unique ways through the arts, diversity, and fusion to raise funds to contribute to children less fortunate around the world. And whereas respect for cultural diversity and creating a peaceful, nonviolent, inclusive society is crucial to achieving social harmony. Therefore, I, Mayor Susan Fennell, do hereby proclaim June the 2nd as Peace Tree Day in the city of Brampton. It's dated today and it's corporate sealed. And would you like to say a few words? Who's first, Lauren?
It's Rhea. Okay, so we would really like to thank the founder for Peace Tree. Her name is Mitra Sain, and she founded Peace Tree, so we'd really like to thank her. And we'd also like to thank our late Mr. Gravelin. He used to be our school's VP. And Mr. Gravelin believed in peace, diversity, equality, and the right of everyone. Thank you. Would you please have a picture with us?
Yes, I will. But first, Councillor Gibson wants to speak to you. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say B.D. Fleming was the first school I went to in Brampton when I came to Brampton. And when I was your age, I would never have had the nerve to get up in front of all these people. So, well done. You're doing a great job being here, and thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you.
My granddaughter's in this class. You have to let me finish.
In line with the wall. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much, Council. The next proclamation is for Seniors Month, and President Martin is here. If I could call President Martin forward, who is the President of the Brampton Seniors Council, trying to redeem himself. Whereas Seniors Month is an annual national celebration to encourage all citizens to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments and contributions of seniors. And whereas seniors are important and active members of our community, contributing to the life and vibrancy of Brampton as leaders, mentors, and volunteers, and we won't say. Whereas during Seniors Month, the City of Brampton will provide great activities and resources for local residents 55 and older, And whereas the health and well-being of seniors is in the interest of all and enhances the health and well-being of the community, therefore I, Mayor Susan Fennell, do hereby proclaim June 2014 as Seniors Month in the city of Brampton. It's dated today and it's corporate sealed, and I'll bring it to you. Well, every month is Seniors Month in Brampton, Donna, but we'll call June extra much.
I have something that I want to say.
Okay.
You know I'm going to say something.
Oh, sure.
Would it be unusual? I want to thank you, Madam Mayor, and councillors for presenting and holding proclaiming June as Seniors Month. I also want to say to you, Mayor Fennell and council, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the seniors in Brampton. I'm a little emotional about this. You've provided the greatest facilities for seniors anywhere in Ontario, and I've talked to many people, and we truly are grateful. And I wish you, Mayor Fennell, and council all the very best in the upcoming election. Thank you. And before you present me with the proclamation, I have a plaque here today. If I could ask Ms. Haynes to come down, I have something for her. And I apologize for being stupid today, but I'm always stupid anyway.
Stop that. Great president.
On behalf of the Brampton Senior Citizen Council, Ms. Haynes, in appreciation for your outstanding contribution, leadership, and dedication to the Brampton Senior Citizen Council, we thank you for your support, and I'd like to present this plaque to you.
Oh, isn't that nice?
You're welcome. Thank you for everything. No, I'm not saying any more, Vicki. But you know that 55 plus? I'm 55. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, for your comments, and I know when we've been at a variety of events, people always take the time to remark to me if they're from out of town, they've never seen facilities like Brampton has built and dedicated for senior games, from the facility at Flower City, Knightsbridge, the programs, and of course there's the famous $1 transit fare for seniors whose home address, of course, is Brampton. It's an unprecedented level of support for seniors anywhere in Canada. I'm very proud to be the mayor of a city that says we need to invest in our seniors and treat you well. So I know you have fun telling people when you're in other towns. When they had the seniors games here, they said, why can't we do it in Brampton every year? And of course, it's appropriate to always congratulate and thank Sharon Bonello, who is one of the most outstanding members of staff. It was great to present Sharon a Queen's Medal, as we often refer to Sharon. If you've ever wondered, have you ever met an angel on earth? If you've met Sharon, you have met an angel on earth. So thank you very much, Sharon.
Just say one thing I forgot to mention. June the 13th is our Spring Fest, and it's held at the soccer center. I hope some of you remember this year. Not many of you did last year. I just thought I'd throw it in.
Thanks, Donna. I never miss. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Almost every seniors council meeting, Donna makes the same speech about how great this council is and thanks us. And we really should be thanking Donna and all the seniors that sit there, because if it wasn't for them, we would not know what the seniors needed in Brampton, Donna. So we don't need the thanks. You guys need the thanks. You and Sharon, who both are continuing to let us know here myself. And Donna's a great chairman. She sure keeps us in line at the seniors council meetings, and if she's not keeping us in line, she's keeping the other seniors in line. So we owe her a debt of gratitude for that. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you very much. The final Councillor Sanderson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'm surprised that Donna didn't mention what's going on the 31st of May.
It's sold out.
Is it? Oh, that's a good news story.
50th anniversary for seniors, celebrating the seniors in Brampton. They sold 350 tickets. Well, that includes the volunteers as well, but it's all sold out.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Well, you could always move it. We have bigger halls. Okay, Councillor Moore.
Well, thank you. Donna, you mentioned, you sort of indicated to me that you were one of those 55-year-old seniors. I just wanted to remind you that Freedom 55 means when your kids turn 55, not when you turn 55.
They're almost there now.
So you'll be free at last.
The next proclamation, thank you, Councillor Miles, for Spina Bifida and Hydrosyphilis Awareness Month, also June 2014.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know if there is a representative here to receive this. No, I don't see one, so I'll just be quick, Madam Mayor. Spina bifida is a neural tube birth defect, and hydrosyphilis a neurological condition. They're both serious conditions, and whereas Spina bifida and Hydrosyphilis Association of Ontario supports those with spina bifida and or hydrosyphilis and their families with the challenges brought on by these disabling conditions, whereas Health Canada has proclaimed June as Spina bifida and Hydrosyphilis Awareness Month, and whereas by raising public awareness about these medical conditions, this event highlights the support, information, research funding, and education programs offered by the association to treat these conditions. Therefore, I, Gail Miles, on behalf of Mayor Susan Fennell, do hereby proclaim June 2014 as Spina bifida and Hydrosyphilis Awareness Month in the city of Brampton. Thank you.
We could make sure that, the clerk will make sure that gets to where it needs to be. Council, just moving out of order at your agreement.
Here.
Yes?
He's visiting with us. I
Well,
thought
I
he
can
should
see
be
that.
acknowledged.
Pardon?
I think he should be acknowledged.
Well, he's gonna be here for a while. Let's see how long he lasts, you know. He's pretty chipper. There are lots of people here visiting us, but one person who has business on the agenda is Mr. Neil Davis. We did move up your delegation, Neil, so that, because there's 4 staff presentations before you originally, and we said, why not bring that forward? And then, so if you would like to speak to this, I will tell you, before you speak, there's a motion to receive the delegation, and there's a motion to approve the exemption to the interim bylaw as amended. These are both moved and seconded before me, so unless you need to speak, or Councillor Plushy, I'm prepared to take the vote.
Yes, I just wanted to question staff. I want to make sure, and I told Neil that I would do that, just confirm with staff that there is no other impact on us doing that, that everything's fine with that. I believe,
Through the chair, that is correct. Staff have reviewed it and have determined that from a local planning standpoint, we are satisfied that the exemption can be approved by council.
and won't impact any of the others, right?
That's correct.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted to confirm that, Neil, and you heard it, so we're good to go.
Davis, would you like to speak to it, speak in favor of the in-favor motion before me, or would you like?
You know.
All those in favor of the motion? It's carried. Would you like to speak after?
No, other than to say thank you, and appreciate the accommodation of getting it back on and being heard early. And it really has assisted in a hardship that has existed for 11 years on the property, for a property that's been owned by this family for over 40 years. So it allows them to get on and build something that legally they're entitled to do, but for this free. So I thank you very much for the accommodation.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, and I think as Councillor Plushy expressed, circumstances were these dedications under study. As we continue to narrow them, it allows this kind of exemption to proceed where a year ago it could not have. So I think we arrived at a good conclusion. The next item, Councillor Miles, you asked to bring forward a matter of the flooding that was discussed at committee, and I'm also going to ask the city manager to speak. Just so you know, the negotiation that the GTA mayors held in Mississauga several months ago, to which the Minister of the Day attended, resulted in the agreement of the provincial government to pay for or reimburse municipalities for the costs of cleanup, debris cleanup, which would include stump removal and so on. It does not include reforestation, and we knew that. Municipalities particularly hard hit have not yet completed the debris cleanup. Brampton is an example of that. So the deadline for submission, if we don't apply to move the deadline, then we will not be fully reimbursed for all the costs of cleanup, which was the intent of the announcement. So municipalities have been asked to each send a letter to the minister saying you need to, or to the premier, you need to move the deadline to complete the assembly of the cost of cleanup. We have not finished in Brampton the branches, the debris, the parks and valley lands. So the recommendation for Brampton would be send the letter, authorize the mayor to send the letter. So we're doing what all the other municipalities are doing, say move the date. It's not changing what's eligible, it's move the date, because right now we haven't finished the job. Now, Commissioner or Chief Kudajar, you wanted to speak to this, and then there was a recommendation. I'm not sure if that's the way we'll go. Our goal is to get the date moved. That's what needs to happen.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Before you, you have a one-page overview of the town hall meeting. Following the discussion last week at Committee of Council, staff assembled and pulled together a very quick event plan for the ice storm town hall meeting. I'd like everybody to mark May 28th in their calendar for this town hall meeting. The objective of the town hall meeting, as you can see in the handout, is to heighten public awareness and to strongly advocate council's position with the provincial government on the significant financial and community impact caused by the ice storm 2013. You can see in the overview the audiences that will be invited to the event. The format of the meeting itself, you'll see a presentation very similar to the one that occurred last week at Committee of Council from staff. Then there will be an opportunity for council to provide feedback on the presentation, as well as members of the public will be given an opportunity to provide comments, including MPPs and candidates for the upcoming election. And then there will be an opportunity for general public input and feedback as well. And that'll be the format of the town hall meeting. There are two parts. The first part is an open house, which would occur between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. here in the atrium of City Hall. And this will be an opportunity for members of the public to meet with staff and to understand the cleanup program and the services that are being provided by the City of Brampton to residents. There'll be boards and maps and schedules that members of the public can view. At 7 o'clock, the town hall meeting will start here in the chamber of City Hall, and the agenda will kick off to the format that I just described. So, Madam Mayor, that's a high-level overview of the event for next week.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I rose to speak on this issue at Committee of Council last week because of my concern about not only the financial implication of the decisions by the province of Ontario, but the impact that it has on virtually everyone in the community. I have spent so much time in the last 6 months dealing with residents' issues in regards to either flooding or the ice storm and the impact that it has on individuals. And then for us to be presented with a policy from the provincial government that did not recognize, first off, that Brampton was the hardest hit municipality in Ontario, and second off, gave us a deadline of June 22nd for cleanup when when that is absolutely impossible for this municipality to do, and the subsequent financial impact that that is going to have on our taxpayers. So I'd like to start off first, Madam Mayor, if I could through you. Can I direct questions to Mr. Honeyborn on the finances of this, or who would be the right person? I know we did have someone from Emergency Measures at Committee of Council. So, Mr. Honeyborn, if you can, from what the report says in front of us, that we know that the gross cost of the ice storm to the city of Brampton is some $81 million, correct? And the report that was presented to council shows that it's been averaging about $100,000 a day for the city to clean up. Probably greater than that when just after the storm occurred. So right now we have spent about $12 million. Is that correct?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I haven't got a copy of the report with me, but yes.
Okay, so the report in front of us says that we spent $12 million, and we know that it's going to cost the municipality some $81 million to deal with the impact of the storm. The reason why I'm standing and speaking to this again is I believe that every citizen in the city of Brampton should be aware of the impact this is going to have on the municipality and on them. Because I think when the Minister of Municipal Affairs came out and said we have $190 million to deal with the storm, all of us on council breathed a sigh of relief until we had the update last week. And with that update, it shows that, and Madam Mayor, I was not aware of the fact, up until you just stated, that the original plan did not cover the cost of tree canopy replacement. Okay, so I wasn't aware of that, but that doesn't make me any less concerned. So we have a report saying there's a cutoff date when we know there's 5 phases to our cleanup, and we haven't even finished phase 3. And we know that from this report there is some $30 million plus costs in cleanup that we are not going to be able to finish by that date. So I'm just guesstimating on an average, if it was $20 million, what would the impact on our tax rate be for $20 million to cover the cost of the cleanup?
Through you, Madam Mayor, it would be, that's a one-time cost, but it would be 6% roughly.
So I think the members of the public have to be aware of the fact, just for cleanup costs alone, we could be looking at a 6 or 7% impact on the mill rate. I mean, residents of our city need to be aware of the fact that this piece of legislation that the province have just handed to us, which gives us a cutoff date and no criteria. I don't believe we've even received the criteria for the Ontario Ice Storm Relief Program. We haven't even received the criteria, and yet we have a cutoff date. So it was me who moved the motion, Madam Mayor, that we have a town hall meeting, that we make the residents of our community aware of what's happening. Yes, we need an extension, but I think the city of Brampton also needs to be looking to the federal government and the provincial government for some relief with our tree canopy. Because it is everywhere I've gone, whether it's neighborhood parks or individual homeowners, residents associations, people are saying to us, the first question is, when will the debris be dealt with, and when do I get my new tree? Right? People want their new tree. They're even saying that they would pay for the new tree, but our forestry staff have said on more than one occasion it's impossible for the municipality to deal with individuals who want to put in individual trees. So we need to give a message to the province of Ontario and to whomever is going to be in power, that the city of Brampton is looking towards the province of Ontario and the federal government for some relief in this regard. And I know there is a report on the agenda today that Deb Reeder has written in regards to some federal government funding that might help us a little bit with the tree canopy. But again, that's in the distance. Brampton has to stand up, and I say this to our community and to our residents, is that the city of Brampton, our residents, have to stand up and be counted in this area. You have to let those who are representing you at the provincial and the federal government know that it's not acceptable for them to not properly fund disaster relief. Other communities across Canada have gotten relief. We were the hardest hit by this storm, and yet we are been given correspondence from the province of Ontario that basically is going to leave the municipality short by, if I say $20 million, which is a 6% increase, that is minimal. If you add in the $50 million that we figure for tree canopy, 6, 20, 40, 20%, 25% increase on the mill rate if we were to fund that all at once. And we won't do that. But what's going to happen is the environment in the city of Brampton is going to be impacted because we don't have the proper tree canopy. And every single street, Councillor Hames and I, as I know other people in the community, have full streets that were ash trees. And we were trying through a replanting program to take out trees, maybe one tree for every 3 houses, etc. But with the ice storm now, they're all gone. And the devastation is terrible. Those people want the replanting, and we are not going to be able to do it unless we get some relief. So I would ask, Madam Mayor, that the overview be adjusted to include the impact of the loss of tree canopy in trees in the municipality. If we are going to get the leaders of the 3 parties to the city of Brampton, I think we need to be very clear that it's not only the date change, but we also need to be having a request for the replacement of some of our tree canopy. And if that's a staged program over a number of years, so be it. But I think it's essential that the residents in the city of Brampton understand that the municipality is willing to do their part, but we absolutely need the province and the federal government to recognize the impact that the ice storm has had on our community and make a commitment to us. So I'm hoping that if it's Tim Hudak, Andrea Horvath, or other individuals who are running for election or re-election, I want them to know, to understand the plight that the citizens of Brampton are in. I hope by the end of this that there isn't one citizen in the city of Brampton who isn't aware of the fact that we are going to be millions and millions and millions of dollars behind the 8 ball as a result of the ice storm without appropriate relief from the federal and provincial government. So, I've stood on this twice. You're probably all tired of hearing me, but I am going to stay on this bandwagon until I feel that the province and other elected representatives are aware of the situation that we are in here in the city of Brampton.
Councillor Moore? Yes, thank you. Thank you. I want to lend my support to Councillor Miles' comments. I think this week alone I've had already several email inquiries on when the trees are going to be replaced, and it's a tough message to deliver when you say that they're not going to be replaced this year and probably won't be replaced for a number of years. And the funding is just one part of that. I think the enormity of the cleanup, the ongoing issues as a result of the ice storm whether it's erosion control in along the creek beds and the river beds in Brampton, or whether it's dealing with residents who have lost their entire tree canopy, and if we have a hot summer, their air conditioning costs are going to go through the roof because it's going to be hotter on their streets. And there are some, as Councillor Miles says, where they've lost every single tree on the street. I have a street where they lost every single tree, and those were trees, ash trees, that were candidates for the inoculation. So we administered the 1 year of inoculation, and the ice storm, we lost the trees anyways. So I think part of this town hall meeting, it's one thing to inform and energize the community to get behind some advocacy to get the funding so that we can move forward. But the reality is, even moving forward puts us, several years ahead for the replanting. And but we have to be prepared on this evening to deliver that strong message and to give residents an opportunity to offer their ideas and suggestions on how they might participate in the tree replacement and the canopy replacement, and to sort of gauge their tolerance for that. I know that staff don't like the idea of having to administer a program, but I think if there is overwhelming support from residents in this city to be part of the solution, then we have a responsibility to help facilitate that. So that, because we're all going to benefit the sooner those trees are replaced across the city. And maybe it means that only a handful of residents on one street are in a position to participate, but I think we need to give them the opportunity to participate so that we can get the tree canopy replaced across the city sooner rather than later. Thank you.
And having been here since December 22nd when the ice storm started, and now we're in the aftermath, cleanup and recovery, I want to first again compliment staff. Of course, we receive questions about replacements and still damaged trees in valley lands, but the service that was provided to residents of Brampton from curb to front door, and more than one pass through their neighborhood to pick up debris often moved from the rear of the yard to the front, is a service not provided in other GTA municipalities, just so you know. Just a question first to the city manager. I understand the agreement, the actual agreement that came, contemplates the funding that will be eligible will not flow before approximately 10 years. Is that correct?
Madam Mayor, that was indication from the province that it could be up to 10 years before funding would be realized.
So I think, given that information, this really becomes a major political stunt on the behalf of the former minister to make a proclamation that will cover all your costs, then jump ship, and then read the fine print that really says there'll be no money to help in your 2014 and 2015 budget deliberations. The costs we're incurring by hiring external contractors to supplement the work being done is being paid in 2014. If that money is not paid to us in 2014, it will be impacting the 2014 budget program. Something has to not be done to pay those bills. We need to have a meeting about how we're going to pay that $100,000 a day. We ought not to be contemplating a check from the province of Ontario for any amount for 10 years from now, if that's the case. Now, I understand other communities with ice storms in other years still haven't received their funding. Well, municipal politics is the real world. It's on the ground. We have a real budget. We have real workers cutting out real debris and real bills that need to be really paid. And there's no relief coming from the province for at least 10 years. So we make a nice announcement. Everybody says, good job, and it's no job at all. It was just a populist announcement with no money behind it. And I think the residents would be most upset to hear those facts, given that we're now in the midst of a provincial election. I think we deserve to hear from certainly the current party their intentions to provide that money in the business cycle to which it's being spent. An ice storm cleanup is being spent, dollars are being spent in 2014. Where are we moving that money from, because there's no recovery money. 10 years from now, we hope to have a hospital and another 60 million put on the taxpayers to leverage the province to bring back the closed hospital. How much are property taxpayers supposed to pay at the promise of the provincial government? I think the town hall meeting, I see it's now been changed from a council meeting to a town hall meeting to enable any member of the public to come and express their point of view. So it becomes an advocacy evening, because there's nobody in this building that's going to change the outcome of when the money's going to flow. What we were able to do as a council was make a determination that we would clean up the debris, that we wouldn't leave seniors with limbs across their home and in their yards, and an inability to get these limbs in dangerous areas and cleanup done. We made that commitment, and we made that commitment with other municipalities on the basis that the provincial government of Ontario would pay the municipalities that cost of debris cleanup. Now there's conditions, now it's 10 years out, now there's a hasty deadline, which means there's no real money coming. How do you trust somebody like that? Councillor Callahan.
I've listened closely to all three speakers, and they're quite right. This is a matter that's extraordinary, and it's not one that we're going to have just this year. We're probably going to have it in the next 3 or 4 years. It's just the climate has changed so dramatically. Surely there must be some way that the province can set aside, they've done it in other areas of government, where they can set aside a kitty where money is allocated to that kitty for just the type of thing we're talking about, so that when it does come, we're not caught in the way Councillor Miles has said, and we're not left sort of hanging out with the canopies of trees being destroyed. So I think there's got to be some program whereby we can put that money aside, so that we have it should it happen again. Second thing is, I'd like to know, how much would we have zeroed in on for the ash trees to get rid of them? Can we take whatever there is there, or a portion of it, to try to insulate it by bringing in trees of the type we're looking for? That's the second thing. I don't like to speak in terms of threats to other governments. They're in the same boat we're in. In fact, probably the present government, because of the gas fiasco in Oakville and Mississauga, is probably in worse shape than we are. The federal government may be in better shape, but somebody's got to come up with at least a commitment, even if it's only a promissory note that's payable a year from now, so that we can show our ratepayers that there's something going to take place within the foreseeable future, and it's not just some more political nonsense. And I think that this is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to bring these people here in a sense to try to get them to listen to us, if they don't already understand just how bad this whole thing has affected our communities. We may have to come up with some type of a program whereby, and I don't know whether we've ever done this in the past, whereby people can order up a tree. And if they order up a tree, the tree will be dropped on the front lawn or on the city's portion of it, and they will plant it and they will nurture it. And I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people would be prepared to do that, and not only prepared to do it, but they can do it in a fashion that would be worthy of the best type of horticulture that there is. So there's a possibility too, that we should be encouraging our citizens to look at this from the standpoint of the sky has not fallen henny penny, but there is a way that we can deal with it, and we have to deal with it in an intelligent fashion. Shouting at one another and playing the game of who's at fault doesn't get us any canopies for our trees. It doesn't get us any trees. All it gets is us screaming at one another. And if I were a citizen out there, I would think that if that's the way my politicians were going to react, I wouldn't be prepared to vote for any of them. So I think we have to come up with a program that's going to be sensible. It's going to hurt, and it's going to take time, as the CEO has said, but I'm not prepared to throw out the water, the baby with the bathwater, and not try to find some other solution that's practical, that can be done. Now, how many trees do we put out each year? Can I ask somebody that question? Who's got that knowledge?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I don't have a figure right now on the number of trees, but I can get that for you.
Just roughly, can you give us a rough, no? Anybody? Well, I'm sure it's significant, because I know in the days of Gordon, he used to plant them on everything, including the roofs of people. So I'd like to find that out, because if we wanted to do a program where we put the tree on their front lawn with a thing saying, please plant this tree to replace the one that you lost, I think that would go a long way towards citizens being prepared to say that the sensible approach was taken by council, and that it's not as bad as we thought it was, and this may help. So just a suggestion as to how we might deal with it. And maybe you could find out how many trees there are.
Council just got over dealing with the devastation of Emerald Ash Borer last. We didn't get over it, but during the budget process, we did deal with it. And we made a commitment in the budget process to provide our forestry staff with funds to remove the emerald ash, the trees impacted by emerald ash borer, and to start a replanting and a replacement program that would span a number of years. So what we did was there was money in the budget to start replacing those trees. But the ice storm itself has totally changed the landscape. The tree replacement and replanting program, basically, most of the trees impacted by emerald ash borer are beyond saving. The ice storm has compromised them, so they've come down. But the funds that we have to do a tree replacement program, it's just like the tip of the iceberg. It's not even going to begin to deal with the impact of the 50,000 trees that staff have estimated were impacted in the storm. So it's 50 million for 50,000 trees. Well, I believe that was the numbers, but 50,000 trees, 50 million, is that right? Anybody remember?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'm sorry, I don't have that report with me that had the details in it, but it is a substantial amount of money. If I can just comment that, this year we are in the cleanup mode. We will be coming forward with a program and with a strategy on how to deal with tree replacement. It's just we are not there yet. We are still in cleanup mode, but we will have resources. We will be developing a program. We will have some funding available. We will be seeking other avenues for achieving or seeking out funds to support the program. We're just not at that stage at the moment. But yes, it's...
So who's going to pay for the trees? Brampton residents?
We have some money that we would take from the Emerald Ash Borer program that was established. We'll be coming back also as part of the budget for next year with some strategies around some additional programming. It's not going to deal with all of our needs, but it will be a start.
Okay. So, and I think members of council, again, the staff will go away and do what they can to start doing the replacement program, but it will be on the backs of our residents again. And the reason why the federal government and the provincial government have a disaster relief fund, in my mind, is for these kinds of situations. And Brampton has to stand up and say, we deserve to be compensated here. Our residents have been so greatly impacted, and I'm not even going to go anywhere and talk about the storm of July the 8th. That's a whole another matter that we're trying to deal with through our operations staff across the city of Brampton, both at the city and the region. Two huge disasters. A lot of the impact has been in Ward 7 and 8. so I am facing it every day. People want a response from the municipality. They want a response from Councillor Hames and I know that everybody in the city was impacted by the ice storm. I don't mean just Ward 7 and 8, but the province and the federal government have a responsibility to us. We had a report at the Region of Peel last week that validated that municipalities get 8 cents on every tax dollar collected. 8 cents on every tax dollar collected comes to the municipality. The rest is split between the federal government and the provincial government. And we have to start giving the right messages to our taxpayers. That's the level of government that can afford to deal with this, not us. So I think we have to move forward. We have to let our constituents know what's going on, and we have to ask our provincial and our federal representatives to please assist us in this particular matter. I don't know, I may have said a town hall meeting. At the time that council resolved to deal with this, we resolved to do it as special council meeting, which was I believe the recommendation of the city manager. No, was it?
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, that was spoke of during last week's committee meeting for sure. But the staff team that went away to do the work rethought it and came back with this proposal for you today to make it a town hall meeting to allow a broader flexibility for input and participation.
Okay.
So it's a recommendation at this stage.
Okay, it's staff's recommendation that it be a town hall meeting, not a special council meeting. But again, this is all about getting the word out and getting some commitment from our MPs and our MPPs. So if you believe that the most appropriate forum is the town hall meeting, I'm not sure, but I'd be happy to amend my motion to a town hall meeting. Thank you.
Seeing the move towards a town hall meeting, my hope would be then, my expectation, that there would begin with a staff presentation. Is this a presentation to the, who are we speaking to? Who is the focus? Who are we talking to? Not the public. The public's coming to talk to us. So who are we collectively talking to? Are we talking to the next government of Ontario? Are we talking to candidates during the provincial election? Like well, the residents need to hear, but they want to be part. This is an advocacy move. And I want to make sure that when we're having an advocacy town hall meeting in the middle of a provincial election, that we don't lose the #1 advocacy of the city, which is a university, healthcare, jobs, transit, and proper compensation for the ice storm. Because if all the province goes away with and says Brampton's changed their priorities, they want ice storm relief. Yes, we do, but not to trump the other priorities. So do we envision seats in the front row are all the candidates running? There's 4 ridings, there's 4 candidates, I think, in each one, so that's 16 people. Are we all speaking to the 16 people to say, we want you to hear very clearly that should you be elected, we expect you to do your job to get the following things accomplished for Brampton? That's advocacy. Or are we going to ask them to tell us if they are elected, they promise to get the following things? We've done this at the Region of Peel. And we've had the MPPs come forward and they say, yes, if I'm elected, I will advocate for better children's services and better public funding for mental health and for health and housing. And they parrot all the lines and then we never see them again. So the only way to hold people accountable and make sure the public all hears it is they have to be in the audience. We're speaking to them. They are the people that can make the decision or encourage the decision, or God forbid they become a minister for a short period of time, that they influence. We don't even have a minister currently at Queen's Park. We don't know who the government's going to be. But if Brampton's going out to the public, to 600,000 people, to say this is the day to come and meet your candidates and hear them, make their declaration, then that has to be part of the agenda. I just want it to be an effective evening. All of the residents coming to talk to all of council, what we all agree on, the action is by the people who are running in this provincial election. They need to be the recipient of the information, and ideally, in the agenda, they would have a chance to say, I confirm, I pledge, if I am elected, I will encourage my government to do the following things. As a Brampton representative, they must all be given that opportunity. Why would they even come, let alone, participate? I think it has to be structured in a way, because this is an advocacy meeting. And at the same time, it helps our residents know and provide answers for tree replacements aren't contemplated in the budget for some time off. We're still stumping and removing debris. And it's a budget item. So I would ask that the meeting be structured, however you're going to identify and invite the identified candidates through the various Election Ontario offices. I guess you can find out how to reach each one of them. You have 1 week to do that, next Wednesday. So do you have an ability, because we did this to Tony Clement when we were doing the hospital. Thank God for Tony, we wouldn't have Brampton Civic. He brought that to the government. And we put their names all in the front. And it was very conspicuous who didn't show up. Tony showed up, he was the Minister of Health, and he took questions direct from the public. So is that a feature too? Give these people the opportunity to make their pledge to the public, not to us. We're one vote in a provincial election, in any election. But I think for the advocacy to be sincere, it has to engage those who are running. It's their opportunity to become aware of the issue and to make a pledge publicly on what they plan to do. Have them sign a pledge. Have a pledge prepared. Let them all sign it. Hand it to them that night. So that's my contribution to how you have effective advocacy. I'm sure the press will report candidate A, B, and C signed the pledge. D, E, and F didn't show up, and somebody else said something different, crossed out a line, or whatever. But that's what we're trying to help voters know going into the June 12th provincial election. Do these people really understand what their expectations are for Brampton? Councillor Hutton.
Thank you, through Madam Mayor. There's no doubt that we need as much funding as we can possibly get to compensate for all the great losses, and I think Gary Linton and his department are doing a fantastic job under the circumstances, catching up and trying to get ahead of the game. Councillor Callahan had raised it 2 or 3 times about the possibility of providing trees to constituents to plant. I see, and Councillor Callahan isn't here to listen to. That's an impossibility. It would just be too prohibitive. Many years ago, I worked for another municipality way up. It was called Port Arthur at the time, and we tried to do something like that even then, and the red tape and everything boggled the mind. I did, as I supplied trees to the city of Brampton before amalgamation many years ago, but was unable to compete with contract people who are planting the trees, and they go by and I think they're even, it's hard for our own staff to even compete with the contract. I know we do a lot of contract planting, but we do planting ourselves. But to line up something where we gave trees to constituents, they'd have to be all delivered on the same day, and these trees are bare root. So you'd have to make sure the constituents were home. It would have to be a Saturday, so whoever delivers the trees is going to get paid overtime. The office work doing all this, tying all this up is incredible, having to call many times to make sure somebody's going to be home, and some of those trees would lie on that front lawn for a week and people wouldn't be home. So it's an impossibility. You just can't deliver trees to homeowners and expect them to plant them and line everything up, and it would all have to be done on the same day. So that's an impossibility. I know our staff and contract planters that we hire would be able to do it for half the cost of giving a tree to a constituent, and the red tape involved is just is just incredible. So we have to continue, we're doing the system, when we get caught up is, it's going to be, I know we've said that there aren't going to be any new plantings this year because